Welcome to UVTV, motherfucker. I'm here to kick spiritual ass and dudes for my people. On God. Now, nigga, for Featherman, today we're going to talk about understanding the apocalypse, revelation, and end time concepts and stuff like that. Because I know a lot of motherfuckers be getting spooked out the minute they be hearing end times, revelation, or anything dealing with the apocalypse or some shit like that. Like it's a goddamn biohazard, nuclear war, destruction, bomb, purge. You know what I'm saying? Like apocalypse shit or revelation type of shit, right? Or end times type of rhetoric and not epistemologies, but uh what that shit called? Astrology or some shit like that. I forgot what the fuck that shit called. Like it's like astrology or some shit like that, where it's just like the theories in the different theologies or the religious aspects when it comes to them talking about end times and stuff like that. I'm taking away the spookism bias that comes with all those different things because they all kind of encompass it into the same, you know what I'm saying, realm of reality. They all under the same umbrella for the most part. And I'm gonna explain what they mean just in general when they talk about that, especially when it comes to the religious context, when they be talking about that, especially when it comes to a lot of Abrahamic religions and stuff like that, like Christianity and Judaism and Islam or anything Islamic, when they start talking about the apocalypse or the end of the world and revelations and stuff like that, because it's a internal energy thing first, and you have to understand it's based upon some type of authorship of where the fuck they talking about from a reference point. So it's someone who's writing this down based upon the English terminology and the English language or Hebrew or something Islamic and stuff like that. It's still someone writing things down based upon their way of seeing things in things of that nature, but based upon the way they see it in their imagination, from it being into someone's imagination, it's just magical thinking. So it just came from someone's mind. It's like a fairy tale. It's like fiction and stuff like that. We don't see that in reality, but the imagination got emitted, and then from that imagination being a minute, they just wrote it down and stuff like that. And then all the different allegories and the different spookism and the mysticism and the not and the esoteric Gnosticism and all that type shit that come around it, just in general, to like make it be perceived in a certain way from how they're saying it for the most part. At the end of the day, when you look at it in reality, it's just someone putting their imagination on a doctrine, in a book, in a theology, in a methodology, and writing the thing down like a scientific method, and they're just trying to make some type of tool or technology or a book or some doctrine or authorship based upon what came from their imagination, and then based upon what came from their imagination and stuff like that of how they seen, because they feel like they was talking to God and stuff like that, acting like not other people can't talk to God because y'all be looking at God like a deity and shit like that. Like I know I be saying that a lot, especially with my recent videos, but like I'm really trying to take you out that program. Y'all be looking at God like a deity when it ain't. It's all possibilities. So why are you a subjective group of people like the Jews or some shit, and you think, oh, you God's people and no one else can't be with God? Now there's a percentage scale of people when it comes to being God's people, and they work with God compared to other people and stuff like that. So when that person or those people be with God, they will be with like all possibilities. And then some people be cosplaying, acting like they're God's people when you really ain't. You really just running with the demons. You hanging with a whole bunch of different deities and stuff like that that you look at as God because you lost into the idol worship. You see what I'm saying? Like, yeah. So just in general, I'm gonna bring all that shit down. So all that was just a preference, a build up to me actually going in and stuff like that. But we're gonna go in. Now, an apocalypse is a widespread, devastating event marking the destruction of the world. Now, stop right there. Stop right there. Who's making the observable event? What world you talking about? You know what I'm saying? Because based upon our spirit being our space and stuff like that, right? If you want to take the esoteric, the goddamn, you know what I'm saying, the mysticism away from it and stuff like that, especially when it comes to agnostic and atheist type motherfuckers. Just look at spirit, replace the word spirit with your space. Replace the word space with the world that you in and stuff like that, right? Okay, you got your own mind, right? You got your own world of how you look at stuff, and I can't read your mind. I don't know the world that you in, but you could explain it to me and stuff like that. And that's based upon I thought I did feel an emotion, your psyche. So it's based upon your imagination. So you have a mental image from your subconscious realm, and you're trying to make it conscious. You're trying to make it make sense. You're trying to make it physical and stuff like that. And then before that, you're just explaining the observer space from what you doing from your subconscious and your conscious realm, right? You know what I'm saying? So it's like that's all that is for the most part. To take away all that. So it's based upon a widespread, devastating event marking the destruction of the world. Who world you talking about? You know what I'm saying? Because you can look at me as being UV and stuff like that. And in the shit I be saying in this channel, you can look at that as, oh, I created a world and a platform based upon my viewpoint of how I look at stuff. So it's based upon my world and my viewpoint from you being in my space and my bubble. Who are you talking about? So it's based upon a preference of someone writing this down, and they already in the intentions of, oh, the whole world gonna feel like this. The whole world is gonna be destroyed. The whole world is gonna go through a devastating event. But that has to be an observable event and stuff like that. That has to be like a propaganda. That has to be an agenda. That has to be like a narrative, like something that you see on Fox News or some shit like that. So who's writing the manuscript to make that thing into existence in the first place? So that already lets you know the essence and the substance in the space that someone got to be in just to even write some shit down like that, talking about some apocalypse type of shit, some apocalyptic type shit, and the shit going in. No, your shit is getting destroyed. No, your shit going in. No, the world that you in, you feel like this shit is gonna disappear and deteriorate and decay and stuff like that. That's all you saying. So is often associated with the final and the conclusion battle between good and evil. Now, good and evil is based upon the positive and the negative. The positive and the negative just means certainty and uncertainty. Now, when I start going into higher and lower vibrations and stuff like that, that's what I mean when I say positive, negative, and stuff like that. Masculine and feminine, for the most part. All of it is the same type of energy. Masculine and feminine. Higher, lower. Broad, condensed. You know what I'm saying? Giving something, taking something, providing something, directing something, and then soaking into that emotion and feeling or supporting what's being built for the most part. You know what I'm saying? Masculine thought idea, feminine emotion and feeling. Females be emotional creatures, and then men try to have some type of logic, rationality based upon some type of done idea they have, and they try to go against feeling some type of vulnerability or emotion and feeling. They ain't trying to feel no way about it. You know what I'm saying? They ain't trying to be motivated by some type of emotion that they feeling and stuff like that. They just trying to understand the logic about that and not try to get into a certain feeling or emotion and to think in a real red pill stoicism mindset. And then a female, she be so into her own darkness, and she don't like to make it lighter into a thought idea. She ain't trying to make it lighter. She's trying to make it darker. She's trying to turn it into an emotion and feeling. She's trying to turn it into something that she can soak into for the most part. But that's just masculine and feminine energies just in general. So the minute they start talking about anything between good and evil, just look at that as positive and negative polarities. If something is positive, that means it's like a yes. It's like a certainty behind it. It's a conviction energy. You know what the fuck you want. And then negative just means you're uncertain. You're in the dark about something. It's unseen. It's unpronounced to you and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? You taking something that's light as in weight, and you're making it dense, you're making it heavy. So it's like you carrying a lot of weight and the world on your shoulders and stuff like that. That's more of the feminine type of energy just in general. So you going based upon uncertainty instead of having some type of positivity about it. So you're like, nah, I ain't gonna do that, or like no, or like negating something, or being pessimistic about something for the most part. So all that is just a process just in general, because as spirits we you know what I'm saying? Like as spirits, we're basically androgynous. We have a masculine side and a feminine side. Now, the way we was born based upon our different genitals and stuff like that, like men having a dick and balls, and they like to direct energy the same way how they get erect and stuff like that and go hard about something. And the same way about when females, they have a womb and they get wet based upon their pussy and stuff like that, and then they take things in, they absorb things in, they take the dick and all that type of shit. Like, it sounds crazy as fuck, but like it really is that though. Like, you know what I'm saying? On a higher percentage scale, it's just in general we androgynous, but we're gonna pick more of a bias based upon, oh, you got born as like a man or a woman and stuff like that. But we all have a male, female, masculine, feminine side just in general. You know what I'm saying? It's a polarity. You have to understand both sides though. But just in general, if you hear anything talking about good and evil and stuff like that, right? Good and bad, the positive and negative, that's what they mean. They're talking about some masculine, feminine type of energies and stuff like that. They just trying to turn it into something like, oh, these are the good guys and these are the bad guys and all that type shit. These are the winners and these are the losers and stuff like that. These are the holy people or the angelic people, and these are the demons and stuff like that. But y'all don't look at that as like a process, like, oh, you need both sides. You know what I'm saying? Like a yin and yang, basically. The internal, the external. You need the light and the dark and stuff like that. You need to know which situations for what thing apply, so you can be in your lighter shape and form, and then make things heavy, or darker shape and form, so you can show people an unseen side that they probably don't know, instead of you trying to be all nice and kind and love and light and all that type shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, the whole thing in itself is a process, and I need you to understand that. So the minute you start seeing anything talking about some good and evil because of this, that, and the third. It's a process. But it's not no thing where it's like, oh yeah, the good guys is this and then the bad guys is this. It's always a nuance in the context of being both. So the whole thing is just a polarity. It's an up and a down. The same way how you go through ups and downs when it comes to life. Sometimes you're going to be in a high and then sometimes you're going to be on a low. Sometimes you're going to be more positive. Sometimes you're going to be more negative and stuff like that. Sometimes to even be a certain kind of individual and stuff like that, because I know people be like, oh, where's the humanity? Where's the compassion? Where's the kindness? No, you have to be one of a kind. And then sometimes when it comes to you being one of a kind, you have to be negative. Sometimes when it comes to you being one of a kind, you have to be courteous. You have to be kind. You have to be compassionate. You have to be loving and stuff like that. But it's never going to be a thing where you always going to have your way to where you always going to be on the kind side, like the compassionate side, like the loving side and stuff like that. Sometimes you got to know how to hate too, though. You know what I'm saying? So niggas don't play with you because you being too nice and you being too goddamn humble and modest and all that type shit. I got other videos talking about that same shit for the most part. So that's all that shit means. That's what it means to be one of a kind, of be a kind type of person and stuff like that. So when y'all be talking about someone based upon morality and a higher virtue and stuff like that, or someone who righteous, that's what that means. You have to do things that's right for you, that resonate with your ass based upon the spectrum in the space that you in and stuff like that. So based upon what resonate with your soul, aka the world that you in just in general and stuff like that, you have to weigh the percentage scale. And then some people probably not gonna like that shit. They're gonna look at that shit like, oh, you being evil, or you being bad, or you being wicked, or you being treacherous or negative and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? But if you know in your heart and your soul, based upon your intentions, that you're doing something that's right or good for you, then you ain't gonna give a fuck about that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gonna rise above the situation compared to somebody else because you can handle it, because it's something that's more resonating with, you know what I'm saying? Like, whatever you was trying to do based upon that situation, all that type shit. But yeah. So yeah, like I was saying, often associated with a final and conclusion battle between good and evil. So that's the apocalypse. And if you're gonna go based upon a conclusion, it means to be conclusive and have a conviction about something. So a vast divisive conflict or confrontation. So when it start going to the apocalypse and stuff like that, right? It's a final battle and conclusion and stuff like that. It's you being conclusive and have a conviction about what you about to stand behind when it comes to being divisive and having some type of discernment between that conflict or that confrontation. And that goes into Revelations, right? Same way in the Bible and stuff like that. It's the same context when they start talking about Revelation. So it's not no thing where based upon what's going on in this religious context or in the Bible or the end times, when they start talking about revelations, all that type shit, in the end of humanity, in the end of the world because of this, that, and the third. No, a revelation is like when you have a revelation about something that you did not know. You know what I'm saying? It was something that was unseen and now it's seen. Now you realize it. You using your real eyes, your third eye and stuff like that. Or you had a light bulb moment, or a goddamn Doctor Who, how you say that word? That Doctor Who eureka moment or some shit like that. Yeah. Like some shit like that. So revelation is just unveiling something. So it refers to the prophetic discourse of hidden cosmic truth. Hidden cosmic truths is just the unseen space / world of what is true to you. So you, like, whatever thing that you was unaware about, which you know what I'm saying, your spirit is always gonna know. Your soul, in your soul, you always gonna know. It's just you gonna know the percentage scale of how much you don't know. You get what I'm saying? Or how much you do know about it for the most part. So your spirit or your soul or the world that you in, you know everything, because your spirit is your space and it's no shape and form when it comes to that. So your shape, like, from your spirit being no shape and form, is being no thing just in general, is gonna make a shape and form. It's gonna make a mentality, a light body. So it's gonna turn to a thought, idea, feeling, emotion, and it's gonna turn into your organs and your adrenaline, and you know what I'm saying, like your veins and your heart and your lungs and stuff like that, the physical, in some shape and form, right? So from it turning into that, and you going through that process, because the whole thing is a cycle, the whole thing is a process, just in general, right? The minute you have a hidden cosmic truth about something, it's not no thing where it be like some thing based upon the biblical text and the white Zeus bearded man is gonna come from the sky, the heavens, and descend on earth, and Jesus is gonna come back or some shit like that. No, the whole thing in itself is just an allegory talking about yourself. So is you understanding a cosmic truth about yourself that you did not know. Now your spirit, your soul, is always gonna know everything, just in general. So I know niggas gonna hear that, they're gonna be like, what the fuck do you mean? And stuff like that. If I did not know something about something, I just didn't know. Okay, you knew that you did not know about it, right? That's your spirit knowing that you didn't have no experience in that area, just in general. So you knew that you did not know much about that thing, but you still knew though, right? You still had an awareness. Now, you can say you didn't have no wisdom. You don't know how to extract no wisdom or learn how to get some type of decisive decision making or conviction about what you know. You don't know how to learn something about the awareness that you have. So you're aware or you have some type of comprehension, but you don't know how to learn from it. You know what I'm saying? You don't know how to utilize it in the right way. You don't know how to turn it into like a tool in some shape or form, just in general, right? So the same way when you have a revelation about something that's hidden, that's unseen, about something you did not know and stuff like that, that's you learning something that you didn't experience and you learning another spectrum about yourself that you did not know. So it was unseen. It was in the dark and stuff like that. So the same way how when things get brought to light and stuff like that, it gets into a lighter shape and form. It's not as heavy and stuff like that. It's not, you know what I'm saying? It's not in the dark. It's not behind closed doors. It's not no alternative motive or some shit like that. No, you know the motivation. No, you know the intention behind why you want to do that thing in the first place, right? So it's the thing. So anything talking about, oh, hidden cosmic truth because of this, that, and the third, because people don't know about this, that, and the third, about what's going on behind closed doors and stuff like that. When it comes to these different religious texts and all that type shit, right? They're talking about yourself. So any hidden cosmic truth is just some unseen space world of what is true to you. So it's a thing that you probably did not know that resonate with you, but now you're having a revelation, you're having a light bulb eureka moment about, oh damn, I did not know that. Oh damn, I kind of do resonate with this and stuff like that. I didn't even think I was capable or I had a talent or an ability or a know-how when it comes to this, that, and the third. I didn't know that I liked this thing this much until I just found out about, you know what I'm saying, until I just found a way to extract some type of wisdom or some conviction or learn from the situation about what I didn't know about it. So now I want to know about it. You know what I'm saying? This like some childlike type of energy and stuff like that. Like, oh, I can play with this. Oh, I can do something with this because of this, that, and third. That's all that shit mean. So when it comes to the apocalypse and end times and goddamn revelations and stuff like that, right? It's the expectation of a imminent cosmic cataclysm in which God destroys the ruling power of evil and raises the righteousness of life based upon some type of Messiah or some shit like that. All right, stop right there. Who God you talking about? Because I know y'all ain't talking about all possibilities. Because y'all love looking at God like a deity and idol worship and looking at it like it's something you gotta worship instead of something you have to praise, and look at God like all possibilities and all of creation and stuff like that. And God giving you the ability to be sentient. So God giving you the ability to make things possible. So you have that God-like power in yourself. I'm not trying to say you're God, because I know motherfuckers gonna snippet that shit and gonna be looking at this shit like, oh, this motherfucker saying he God or some shit like that. No, I'm utilizing the way y'all be looking at it, and I'm like, no, the way y'all look at God like a deity, that's just a mentality. So that God, goddess, and stuff like that, the same way how you look at someone like a king or a queen, God, goddess body and stuff like that, you're just talking about someone's mentality. So from someone writing that down in a book, talking about cosmic cataclysm and God destroys the ruling power of evil and stuff like that, it's based upon a bias of how they look at God. So it's either them trying to play God or they're observing a motherfucker based upon idol worship that they look at as God in their world, and they like other people dictating their world, or it turns into they like to dictate the world and they like to play God, and whatever they deem as evil or negative to them, just in general, right, they're going to eradicate that shit. You know what I'm saying? They're going to cause some type of cosmic cataclysm or some shit like that. So it adds to the righteousness, to the life of some type of Messiah and stuff like that. So whatever idol worship that they have for that thing, they feel like that was right for them to do. They feel like it was a good thing that God did that. Look at God like the mentality in itself. So based upon that mentality in that idol worship, or them being the walking idol, the walking example, the walking star, the walking cross, the walking Messiah, or what that is, they felt like that was right for them to do in their life, for them to eradicate this, that, and the third, and cause a lot of apocalyptic revelation and end times and in decay and deterioration, all that type shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like some Christopher Columbus type of concept or some shit like that, when he started bringing motherfuckers on boats and colonialism and capitalism and all that type shit. Oh yeah, we're gonna take something from this land and pluck from this land, even though it's not our motherland, it's not our country and stuff like that, and we're gonna rule over these motherfuckers, and these motherfuckers will become our slaves, and then if they don't, we're gonna cause cosmic cataclysm or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm just using it as an example of like, oh, that's just what that is, just in general. Like whoever wrote that down in a book, just in general, that's the type of mentality that they got about it. So it's either they watching the motherfucker who trying to play the role like they God, or they like to play God, and this is how they look at them playing God and look at the outside world from the world that they in and stuff like that. And they want motherfuckers to look at them like they're that Messiah or some shit. Now, just in general, when it comes to the apocalypse, they'll look at it based upon Armageddon and stuff like that. So when motherfuckers start referencing Armageddon, they're just talking about hell. Because Armageddon is just a large disastrous fire or inferno / hell. So it's basically just hell. So anybody who's in a hellistic state of being and stuff like that, they like to burn shit off. They like to burn themselves in their own visions and stuff like that. And that shit gets so hot. It gets so spicy. Look at it as someone crashing out. They crashing out so hard that they end up evaporating their own ability to be highly spirited and stuff like that. They're trying to take away their own ability to make their own world and stuff like that. Because anything they try to build, they try to destroy it. They get lost into their own light. They get lost into their own vision, and they get blinded and stuff like that, and they end up crashing out, and they end up burning something off, and it ends up turning into the decaying and the deterioration of their own world. So the minute it starts turning into concepts like the end of the world or some shit like that, no, that's how you end up crashing out. That's how you ended up burning yourself out. That's how you ended up going to hell. You got stuck into a pocket of time. You got stuck into a certain pocket of how to look at it, and you went so hard for that thing that's basically dying out. You don't know how to go through transitions. You don't know how to transform it. It's like beating a dead horse about something. Okay, in that point in time, that was the wave. Now we're not in that time no more. We going through a shift. You have to get with the times. You know what I'm saying? You have to adapt and make a better way of how to go about it. You trying to crash out and trying to keep people into that heaven and keep people into that one way of how to live life and stuff like that, right? You end up turning a heaven into a hell and stuff like that. You end up burning something out. You end up getting lost into your own light, your own vision and stuff like that, because you don't know how to adapt. You don't know how to be movable and stuff like that, because like I said, your spirit is no shape and form. You don't know how to make another shape and form. You don't know how to make another vision. You don't know how to make another dream. You don't know how to make another idea to make it more relative to what's going on now. And then that's how you have actual foresight, or that's how you have insight and stuff like that. You always have to be adaptable when it comes to that. You have to make some new type of expression. You have to make some new type of entertainment or some shit like that. You have to make some new type of vision and stuff like that. The minute you start getting lost into the light, into one way of seeing something, you end up burning yourself out, and you end up taking away your own ability to be highly spirited. And then you end up spiritually deteriorating in that way too. So when it comes to apocalyptic type of things and the end of the world and revelations and stuff like that, that's how I be feeling. When you go through that transformation and stuff like that, it feels apocalyptic. It feels fucking catastrophic. It feels cataclysmic and stuff like that. It feels like the end of the world. Yeah, it's the end of the way of how you looked at the world, and now you have to broaden your horizons and make your world bigger. So you basically expanded out of the mind that you was in. That you know what I'm saying? Just in general, like what the fuck I just said, what you was in, it was condensed. And our whole thing, when it comes to different experiences, we're trying to expand and contract. And we do that when it comes to our spirit. We do that when it comes to our mind. And we like to do that when it comes to physical experiences and stuff like that too. So when you expand the space that you in, your spirit, the world that you in, right? You expand that by having more experience and stuff like that. So what is that? You have to observe more things. Just in general, you have to have more awareness. You have to have more intelligence. You need to have more knowledge and stuff like that. You need to have another angle of how to look at something. Anybody who's really intelligent and stuff like that, the minute they start talking and you can tell, oh, this person can go into a deep nuance about this thing and go on for hours, big ass lecture and all that type of shit, and they can hit this shit from multiple angles, not just one way of looking at it. And it don't gotta be predicated on a monetary gain, the money. It don't have to be predicated by some type of physical example for all the time and stuff like that. It don't have to be predicated by the external world all the time. They can explain it based upon internal natures and stuff like that. They can explain it based upon having some type of imagination. They can explain it by having another thought, idea, or feeling emotion about it. They can explain it by making it relatable to how other people feel and other people's ideas and stuff like that, to other cultures, and they can do it at all levels of life and stuff like that. So that whole classism shit go out the window and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Because motherfuckers be thinking they be spending some good game like they Neil deGrasse or some shit like that because they got different degrees and stuff like that, associates, bachelors, and masters. All that shit is just Masonic degrees and stuff like that, and you just going up a level and stuff like that because you getting lost into the institution and you got institutionalized, and you going based upon universal university type of thinking and all that type of shit. You just learn that from a fraternity and stuff like that. But who set up that fraternity in the education? Okay then, so you know what I'm saying? You ain't trying to educate yourself in all levels and stuff like that. So it don't matter if you talking to a rich motherfucker who a aristocrat, they know what the fuck you talking about. It don't matter if they're a suburban, middle class motherfucker and stuff like that, they know what the fuck you talking about. It don't mean, bro, it don't matter if they a thug and they from the hood or they a crackhead. They know in some sense, based upon the nuance and the way you explain it, they know what the fuck you talking about. And then even if they don't, you can make it relative to where someone of that level of life can understand what the fuck you mean and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? That's some high class intelligence, all that type shit. I'm really trying to put y'all on game about this shit, but like, yeah. So just in general, right? All that is just disclosure. So it's the explosion or the expulsion of something, just in general. So the same way how a motherfucker be getting exposed on a timeline for doing this, that, and a third, like Diddy or some shit that was unseen and stuff like that. Look at that, but dealing with something of the mind and stuff like that. Even though I know Diddy is like an extreme example, but that's like you exposing outside of yourself that you didn't realize that you was capable of. You had some new type of talent, some new type of ability, or new type of tool, or new type of awareness, or some new type of intelligence or comprehension about something that you was, you know what I'm saying? It was unbeknownst to you until you find some new angle of how to look at it, some new type of trick, some new type of skill set, and all that type of shit, just in general. So that's all that. That's basically what. Anytime they start talking about the apocalypse or end times or revelation and stuff like that, that's what they mean. It's an internal energy first, and sometimes it do feel like it's cosmic or cataclysmic, and it's the end of the world and stuff like that. Yeah, it's the end of the world spectrum of the world you was in, and you're trying to expand out of that world and stuff like that. So that's how it feels like sometimes. Now, and then I just explained the difference just in general when it comes to the end of the world, well, the way they talk about it when it comes to religious texts and the bias they be in, and how they want to make look. They're basically like, it's like some shit of how they want the sheep-minded person to look at it. And now I'm explaining how the internal spectrum, you know what I'm saying, the internal energy behind what make that the thing in the first place, or what type of mind or what type of space someone has to be in to even come up with that in the first place. So just in general, right? This like the main problem is y'all turn it into a religious belief. Anybody who religious is just part of a religion. Our religion is just a real legion. So it's a real legion of people that believe that. So from you believing that, you're putting your state of being in that. You know what I'm saying? You're belying in that. You know what I'm saying? You lie to yourself and you convince yourself based upon that religious belief of what a legion taught you and stuff like that. And y'all keep on revitalizing that into making other motherfuckers believe it from your self-projection type of energy, because you don't know how to self-reflect right. And I just explained the self-reflection energy and just in general of what the fuck they mean when they be saying some shit like that. And I'm explaining the bias of, you know what I'm saying? I'm explaining the space someone got to be in to even make that a thing to where y'all look at it like, oh, it's the end of one's lifetime and civilization is going to go through a catastrophic global event of some sort and stuff like that. Like, I'm explaining like the space someone got to be in to even think like that in general. So the minute y'all start talking like, oh, this is going to be the final event of human history and the ultimate destiny of humanity, like societal collapse and human extinction because of this, that, and the third, from y'all paying attention, right, and y'all adding attention span towards that, right, y'all just making the world like that. So it's only a religious belief. So it's only a group of people who think like that. The whole world don't think like that. It's just people in that religious belief. Y'all put y'all spirit in y'all space, in y'all world, in that worldview, and you want to self-project that worldview like the whole world think like that when not everyone think like that. You have to look at the world, like different worlds, like other people's spaces, other people's minds. And based upon we having our own mind, that means we sentient and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? We're animated. Oh, we have character. Oh, we're alive. We able to live our life in our own subjective point of view and stuff like that. That's something based upon y'all little group, y'all little legion of people, and y'all believe that. The whole world don't think like that though. So the more you believe into that, the more it's gonna turn into some Heaven Gates concept, and y'all end up killing yourselves based upon some type of cult leader. Because if a fucking pope told y'all to jump off a goddamn bridge, y'all gonna jump off the goddamn bridge because y'all listen to fucking idol worship and you looking at the shit like a deity, and y'all look at God like a deity just in general, like, yeah, like what the fuck I just said. So it's like, yeah, y'all have to learn the difference between someone trying to self-project that and y'all just looking at it like, oh yeah, like God gonna blow this place the fuck. You know what I'm saying? It's like some nihilistic type of thinking type shit, like some Rick and Morty type shit, like some nihilistic type of thinking. No, you only talk about you and your people. No, y'all either want to start the end of the world because y'all shit is decaying and y'all shit collapsing, and y'all have no type of way to put yourselves in another different vision, another type of dream, another spectrum of yourself, because you don't know how to self-reflect. So you start self-projecting, oh yeah, let's just blow this world up and turn into nuclear bomb biohazards and stuff like that, and let's make it worse for everybody else because it's the end of our world and we don't know how to move on with our life and stuff like that, and learn how to let certain things go and stuff like that. It's like some peaked in high school type of energy. It's like some lame ass bitch ass nigga energy just in general and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? It's either that y'all going through a personal apocalypse, or you just self-projecting that you want other people to feel like that so they can be into this fear-mongering type of spectrum so you can control people through fear, just in general. So based on a motherfucker fear-mongering, they putting you in a sphere of reality. They putting you in a world based upon their fear-mongering and stuff like that. They just self-projecting. They trying to make you feel guilty and shame and make you feel like, oh, I'm going against God, or I'm going against the universe, or I'm going against the word and stuff like that. They're just trying to make you not express yourself to your fullest capabilities so you can give your power away so they can utilize your power and they got control over it, instead of you utilizing your own power and you control you, motherfucker, because you and you want to be here without what the fuck I'm talking about, of you having your own mind and your own world and your own space and all that type of shit. So just in general, right, it's just a personal apocalypse. And it's the eternal collapse of an ego, representing a painful but necessary destruction / death of certain parts of the self to create new spectrums of awareness and comprehension. So like I was saying earlier. And that's it. It's like the end of an age and shit like that. It's like when motherfuckers be going through their midlife crisis. I bet you they went through an ego death. I bet you they went through a revelation. Damn, I kind of wasted my time doing this, that, and the third. And now I'm 30, and now I done live like halfway through my lifetime, because on average, we usually live to, especially men, we usually live to like fucking 60 and stuff like that. And then 30, we an adult, but we still, you know what I'm saying? We ain't that old, but you know what I'm saying? Our physical start to tear down, certain muscles start getting pulled and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Unless you was on that shit. Or you're going to be real set in your way when it comes to your beliefs or the way you think, unless you was building yourself up to always be dynamic, to always know how to transform and change that shit up and all that type shit. Otherwise, you're going to be having a prosperous time after your 30s. So by the time you in your 30s, you're going to be living your life the way you really want to for real. And you a full grown woman and men and all that type shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. So just in general, that's what they mean when it comes to the apocalypse, revelations, and autumn end time type of concepts and stuff like that. It's like an ego death. It's like a personal ego death and stuff like that. And if they're not talking about that, they're talking about some self-projection type of energy where they try to put y'all in a certain fearmonger way of looking at the world, a sphere of reality, because all fears are just spheres of reality, and they trying to put you in an atmosphere. The world at most, the sphere at most, all atmosphere is just the sphere at most, the world at most. They're trying to put you in a world where they have some type of power control of how you look at the world, and you can't create your own worldview. But in general, we make the world. On some Michael Jackson, we are the world type shit. You know what I'm saying? We make the world what it is just in general. We have to have our own subjective point of view, and it makes the objective point of view of how the world is and stuff like that. So don't y'all want some type of new type of space, some new type of creativity, some new type of productivity and all that type shit, some new type of space where we can bring God and heaven on earth, look at God like all possibilities. We can make things possible and create some new way how to go about something, and we're just going to utilize the flesh and the external tools and technology that get made from the flesh to make things what it is and stuff like that. It's going to be a fine balance. Not no AI, artificial intelligence, and taking away actual intelligence because someone had to make some type of synthetic artificial intelligence for it to be intelligence in the first place. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all motherfuckers be getting lost into goddamn robot type thinking and stuff like that. And robots going to take over. The motherfucker who made the robot. You know what I'm saying? Who made the robot? Some human who's sentient with an intelligence and an awareness and stuff like that. So the only way that's possible is if y'all made Ultron and y'all basically engineered it to make it do that, but y'all creatively trying to make motherfuckers lazy. Like this is the movie WALL-E or some shit. You know what I'm saying? And like, yeah, y'all just trying to turn motherfuckers into some emo, depressed ass motherfuckers, and they just can't wait till everything get blown up. It's the end of the world. Nobody can get along because this down the war and this down the third. No, you need to get your mind right. And the minute you get your mind right and you know how to self-reflect, the only thing you're gonna be able to self-project is your creativity. The only thing you're gonna be self-projecting is your productivity. The only thing you're gonna self-project is your world. The only thing you're gonna self-project is your awareness and your comprehension and the shit you be experiencing, you be experiencing and stuff like that. And your imagination and your talent and your new development when it comes to this and a third, and you're only gonna move up in life when it comes to your skill set and capabilities. So even when you come back into the next life and all that type shit, you're gonna have, you know what I'm saying, your spirit gonna be big as hell and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna come out the womb a prodigy and stuff like that, and not no institutionalized prodigy. No, it's gonna be like some real shit for real. Cause you made things possible now instead of waiting for something to come up where God is gonna control the world and stuff like that, and I have to do things based upon God. And y'all be looking at God like a deity, idol worship, instead of looking like yourself, like, oh, I'm supposed to idolize and praise my own abilities and capabilities of what the fuck I'm able to do. And then bro, that's it. That's it. It's nothing else.